Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to FTR here for round 5, the Bahrain Grand Prix. And you join us in qualifying for once. I know, imagine actually being ready with the recording software instead of panicking at 7:30 on a Sunday evening. And I've realised I failed to mention actually where FTR is streamed. I hopefully remember to put it in the description. If not, I'm a really bad YouTuber. Anyway, it is streamed at 7:30 British summertime on every Sunday, unless we have a break week. So yeah, just tune in every Sundays, and if there isn't a stream on at 7:30 BST, then we're having a break week. And we're here for round 5 in Bahrain, and we've already done one lap on this set of soft tyres, but it was a pretty shocking lap really. At 27.4, we're actually attempting to better it now. You see we're 5/10 up halfway through the lap. And yeah, we haven't missed a race so far. At this point I was making the joke that I was going to crash out of Bahrain, I believe, because so far round 1, round 3 and round 1 and round 3 have been pretty so-so, whereas round 2 and 4 have been pretty decent. I just crashed out of round 3 obviously. But no, we finished this race, but no spoilers as to what happens. As you can see, we were going to go 6/10 up at least, but we pulled into the pits. I more just did that lap just to see what my pace was like, to get this feeling of confidence. See, we're going on a set of mediums now to see what we can do. We're currently residing P6. That was on a pretty shocking lap, so we've got a lot more time to find here. So you're going through turn 1, it's a dreadful corner, is that, especially putting the power down for turns 2 and turn 3 here. I don't think that's turn 3. I don't know if the class that was a corner. But I'm classing it as a corner. Turn 3 is going to turn 4. It's a fantastic corner. You can brake a lot later than what the racing line says. Get a nice exit. I actually don't really use racing line. And what I use is just braking reference. And as you can see, Ronna's season blocks us. And that's that lap gone. Pretty much. We're still going to push on, but we lost at least 4/10 and we abandoned that lap at the end. So that was actually reported to the stewards, and it's not just me stewarding, because that would be a bit biased. We have someone else, I believe it's Dodger, that's stewarding after this race onwards. As you can see, going to our final lap of the weekend, let's hopefully move ourselves a bit further with the order. We're going on a set of soft tyres. Not really sacrificing strategy. 2-stop is probably what we're going to be going for. Mediums, we'll go mediums hard, but I don't think that's the viable strategy. See, we're already 4/10 up. Nearly over 7/10 as we go through this. So that's absolutely gorgeous run through that section of S's. Not the best exit out of the hairpin. Just turn 9, go down to the left hand of turn 10. Actually don't lock up there, surprisingly. And we get an absolutely beautiful punchy exit. And we're going to be at least 9/10 up going into turns 11 and 12. Run really wide, flick the car in, accelerate up the hill, don't touch the curb on the inside of turn 13, otherwise it'll spin you around. Go into turn 14 now, get a lovely run wide, but don't invalidate our lap time. We actually didn't get a better exit, so we're losing a little bit of time down the straights. Evo freezes on pole with a 25. We're going to come around the final 2 corners now to improve by what looks to be over a second. It's going to be over a second. Yes, it is. We improved by 1.022 seconds, and that still puts us quite far behind. I think that was 7/10 behind, so we do a 26.4. Evo Freezy actually did a 25.6, so we're absolutely nowhere near the front of the field, but we're still third. So I guess that's good. I mean, we're just consistently in third like every single race, which is quite amusing. And yeah, that was the end of qualifying. So now coming on to the race, we're doing the usual lower fuel, but only under a lap of fuel, I believe. More just to sort of mitigate. Obviously, if there's a safety car, we can save a lot of fuel, but also Bahrain's quite a high fuel wear circuit. So we want to sort of like balance those two out, and you see we are doing the 2-stop soft medium. I'm thinking of maybe undercutting the 2 guys in front, depending on how it goes. We see 5 red lights are out, and away we go. We get a pretty decent initial launch, but in the second phase, Resident Lord absolutely punches past Evo Freeze. Get into the lead going to turn 1, but he goes to absolute Narnia. I get tapped to the back by, I think, Origin's Peng. Resident Lord rather has made a wonderful mess of that turn 1. Evo's run away. I'm telling Jeff to shut up within 25 seconds of this race because I don't want him talking. And now we just hope that we have the pace over Evo Freezy, and we don't. Shock horror there, Evo's ridiculously fast. But now all comes about defending from FTR Venom behind us. Resident Lord has dropped back into 5th place. My teammate for this race was actually different. Resident Lord got one of his friends in, P Thorn, who is now in the AlphaTauri because FTR seen I was actually commentating this race. Interesting story. P Thorn isn't actually racing in this league anymore. You'll see why a bit later on. We're also going through a process after this race. This was the race where I introduced the new stewarding system. Very in-depth. I'm actually quite proud of it. Covers like all bases, including like people getting stressed out about being in lockdown constantly, and if they need to vent, they'd rather do it in social races or like just messing around races instead of league races. And yeah, we also made the decision to trial every single driver, see we can't tell that too. Now nothing much really happens until FTR Venom actually loses it through those S's and plants himself into the wall, and that sort of relieved the pressure off the back of me a bit. It's also released Resident Lord. We get a virtual safety car come out. That lasts for about half a lap, and as you can see, start of lap 3, FTR AVFC in the Haas for this weekend loses it on the final corner. As you can see, Resident Lord just like motors up the inside. We didn't really fight it too much, trying to use him to slingshot my way up to Evo Freezy. And we didn't lose all too much time, so that was pretty decent. Funky Monkey also retires. I believe he had a collision at turn 1 and felt so bad because this was also his first race, but we had trialled him and he felt really bad, so he just left. You see now we're actually undercutting. We're supposed to be pitting on lap 9, I think, but we're undercutting by 1 or 2 laps here. On the top 2, we put on a fresh set of soft tyres, and this is going to drop us out behind our teammate P Thorn, so we're going to be 7th place. Got a nice gap to Origins Pink behind us, and I don't know if we're going to attempt to say that name. As you can see, come out of the pits on going on to lap 9. The Resident Lord. We've actually managed to get a few seconds on him. He's battling with P Thorn at the moment, but obviously he's on fresh mediums, but we didn't really have the pace to stay with him, which is quite unfortunate to see. He's going around the outside there. If P Thorn does the switch back and goes at the inside and takes away P5 from him. But yes, after the incident that P Thorn incurs, we actually decided to start trialling drivers and not let them into the league until the new season arrives, which could be closer than you think. We are debating stopping the championship at round 10 and then starting season 2. And see, we're getting, if we go to the other side of P Thorn here, as I'm losing track of what I'm actually talking about, we don't actually get the move done, but P Thorn runs wide on those 9 apple mediums, so we shoot at the inside of him, so a pretty lovely move there. But yes, anyway, back to the season. There's 22 races, obviously, as you know from the first video, but it depends, because we've got a lot of new drivers and we don't really want them waiting around, and there's a lot of skill gap between the drivers here. As you see, we're closing up to Dodger, and Dodger's going to let us go. He knows that I'm on the faster tyre and I'm the faster driver. He didn't have to do that, but we would have got him on the DRS street. He just decided for his own race to do that. As you can see now, coming up to Evil 1, so this could be questionable, trying to get past him. But yes, the season could be stopped after round 10, but I shall notify you all of actually what happens then when we make the decision. At that point there will be 2 tiers, and I shall be commentating on the other tier, or tiers, depending on how many drivers we get. We could go down to 3 tiers. Either one gets up massively wide. I'm actually really focused on the race because nothing much really happens. You see, we're close at the back of Evil One here. We've got a lot of ERS saved, and we know we're really good through turn 10, so we'll try and get up the inside of him. Probably not the best exit or entry to that corner, so I decided to hang back a bit and wait. As you can see, I think Websy's actually leading, and he's currently battling with Evo Freezy and Resonant Lord. Websy's a sort of dark horse in that racing point. He's a very consistent driver. He doesn't have the pace of Evo, Resonant Lord, or myself on good days, but he's consistently there in the points. So he could be a challenge for me, driver of the season. As you can see, we're just biding our time with Evo 1. I decided save my ARS and go up the inside into turn 1. Well, that's what I'm planning, actually. What happens could be a different thing. It is Evo 1. But you see, we give him more wider berth than probably what we needed to, but we just wanted to make sure the move was done. And that brings us up into P4. And Webby's on the hard compound tyres. I don't know whether he started on those. He might have done. He might be yet to make a stop. We've still got to make another stop to go onto the mediums. But unfortunately, Websy actually bins it on lap 14, fighting with the top two guys. And that brings out a full course safety car. Pretty much perfect time as well, because that gets us another free pit stop to go onto the hard compound tyres. We actually changed that. We go onto the mediums. We're starting on lap 16, obviously a couple laps behind the safety car. Just get Evo's properly slowing everyone up, a bit like Bottas in Mugello, and there's a bit of contact between the top two. Me and Dodger did give Evo a warning for this as we get the race underway on really cold tyres. We gave him a warning for backing the pack up that much, just because of this game being so bad. You can back the pack up, it's just weaving around and backing it up a lot, to the extent where it basically stood still. It's probably not good, but we managed to hold on. And we've probably got maybe 5 or 6 laps where these mediums will be in their prime compared to the hards before the hards start balancing out and becoming faster than the mediums. As you can see, Resident Lord and Evo battling into turn 4 here. But yes, should focus on the racing now, but that's what I said about the league, so it could be happening. I'll put notifications up on YouTube if I'm able to about when I'm streaming. As you can see here on lap 18, we've actually closed up quite massively to the back of them. We've got a lot of ERS to play with. Evo weaving around over the entire track, it'd be like a little snake. I elect not to stay in the slipstream and weave because I believe I'll actually get the faster run, which actually is true for this because I'm weaving around and shedding off speed. So we get close to Resident Lord. I could have probably dived up the inside, but I didn't really want to. I'm a very cautious driver when it comes to league racing, especially against these two. Not because they're bad drivers, but because I'm more of one for keeping the position I have. Unless I absolutely know I'm faster, then I'll go for a move. As you see, they're going through here. They're still battling quite heavily. I've actually managed to stay with them. We've managed to pull away from Evil 1, who's on the hard compound tyres. And you see, we come on to the end of lap 19 now, start of lap 20. Again, we're doing same weaving. You see, we could have a look at the inside of Resident Lord here. We actually sort of half go for the move, but looking back, I could have gone for that. I could have fully committed. He wasn't really aware of what I was doing, and he was more focused on Evo and not defending from me. As you can see, P Thorn actually retires. If you look at turn 4 where the yellow flag is, he's just gone straight on. There was an inquiry to this, so we get another safety car, which is going to help me a considerable amount on these mediums to keep them fresh. But there was an inquiry as to why P Thorn did that, driving straight out instead of retiring in the pits. Nothing came of it. Resident Lord denied that he said anything. It wasn't in a party chat or to help Evo, because we don't want any of that Nelson Piquet Jr. action from Singapore 2008 in this league. As you can see, we get underway. Evo actually made a pit stop to go onto fresh soft tyres, and I was looking at the start of this race, at the start of the safety car period, to whether I had a fresh set of softs, which I did not. So that promotes something to second place, but Evo is going to be mightily quick on those fresh soft compound tyres with only 7 laps to go. And at this point, it's all down to raw pace between myself and Resonant. You see Evo there is actually in 4th position. If you look behind us on the minimap, He's overtaking Evil One now. And as you can see, a yellow dot goes off to the left hand side as a yellow flag. And what happened is Evo was going down the right hand side, or was going up either the right hand side or the left hand side of actually it was because this turn 1, 3 cars go off there. One of the Ferraris, Evo One himself, and I believe the other McLaren of Chica, it's that name. I'm just going to call him Cheek because why not? Evo punted him. So first of all, he has an intentional collision on that second DRS straight and smacks Evo into the barrier, and then he does it again, absolutely punts off 2 drivers. And after that, even after the first one, that was it. Evo was out of this. Evil One was out of this league, and then he does it again. And that's him fully removed. And we've actually got Silver. I managed to finish in second. Resident Lord had a penalty, which we did actually remove because it was under safety car. It was one of those stupid penalties. Origin's Peg manages to come third, Jimmy Jones in fourth, and Cheek in his first ever league race coming fifth. So fantastic performance for those guys. Dodge as well in sixth. A lot of drivers you wouldn't expect to do well, no offence to them, getting some decent points. And I was very happy with second place too. Absolute commiserations to Evo there. It's just, he would have won that race. We all unanimously agreed that Evo should have won that race, and he definitely was going to, given his pace on the soft compound tyres. But unfortunately, Evo One got in the way, and he has to consolidate himself with the fastest lap and 2 points for P9, which is quite sad, as you can see there. I actually didn't get any penalties, which was a nice change for once. But yeah, another pretty uneventful race for myself. A bit like Australia, really. It's more just consistency, which got us a good position in second. But yeah, Evo, I commiserations to him. He drove a superb race and deserved to win that. And as you can see, the Drivers' Championship, after that race, we actually lead on 69 points. Evo's on 62 and Resonate's on 60. He's moved up massively in those 5 races we've had. Chris didn't race that race, but he's still in 4th place, which is good for him. As we move on to the Constructors, AlphaTauri is still absolutely dominating. Renault and Ferrari and Alfa Romeo are quite close. So it's looking to be quite a close season. And once again, if you do want to join FTR, my Discord will be in the description. Message me on there and I'll get you in, and have a good day.